Hi, it's C welcoming you to week 4 of Intro to Poetry. This week we're going to be working with what a poem says literally and then what it suggests. So I'd like you to begin, as usual, with the week 4 overview. Then go on to read chapter 4 in our textbook, where you'll learn about denotation, connotation, and the 5 W's, questions that you can ask of each poem to better understand what it is literally saying, the who, what, when, where, and why of the poem. I've also included 2 short lectures, the first on denotation and connotation, and the second on the 5 W's. And then because I'll be walking you through a reading of Fire and Ice by Robert Frost, I've added this recording of Frost reading his poem. There's also a handout this week connecting denotation, connotation, and Lane's core learning outcomes, and I'd like you to read that to see how learning about these concepts in the context of poetry can actually be applied to your experiences outside of the realm of poetry. Because we have our midterm coming up in week 5, I've also included under the recommended resources a midterm exam review and an answer key, and then some additional recordings of Frost reading his work. Finally, the activities for this week include the vocabulary quiz, which you'll see is the shortest vocabulary quiz you've probably ever taken from chapter 4. And then we have a forum on saying and suggesting, the handout that I mentioned about the core learning outcomes, the midterm review, and the key that I mentioned earlier. I did want to add one word about the week 3 forum. I think that there's still some confusion about diction and its relationship to tone. And so with the midterm in mind, I just want to review briefly that diction means word choice, and tone is the attitude toward the subject in the poem. So if you're looking at the relationship between those two things, you want to ask, how do the specific words that the author is using convey to me as a reader the attitude toward the poem's subject? I think after you read chapter 4 and learn more about denotation and connotation, it will be even easier for you to draw connections between diction and tone. All right, let's start week 4.